Welcome to my YouTube channel. This has been a long time coming, making a YouTube video. This is so exciting. So this video is for people who are just starting out with UGC, wanting to know, okay, when I've got my first client, what do I do? So today I'm going to highlight everything that you need to do from start to finish in order to successfully complete your first paid collaboration. So I'm going to do this from the start, as in a brand has reached out to you and they're looking to work with you. First things first, they're probably going to say something like, we love your content, we'd love to collaborate with you, or they might present you with a project that they have. So the first step is to analyze that email and then respond. Usually, your response is probably going to be something like, thank you so much for your kind words on my content, I'd love to collaborate with you. And if they've asked you for your rates, this is when you attach your rate card. I'm going to show you an example of what my rate card looks like. After they've seen your rate card and they want to work with you, they'll probably start to give you a bit of an idea of what they're looking for. And this is usually known as a brief. A brief usually includes guidelines for the video. So how should the video look? In what format should it be filmed? And sometimes even specifications as to exactly where do they want you to film this video. These guidelines sometimes can include some inspiration videos. So they may have seen a brand that is similar to theirs making content online and they'd kind of like to replicate it or use it as inspiration. Lastly, in this email, they might also include a script, and a script will look something like this. So now once you've got the brief and the script, one thing I always really recommend is to highlight. So highlight what format are they looking for. Are they looking for it to be 16:9 or a 9:16 ratio? Once you've read the requirements and the script, it's necessary, if you have any questions or any uncertainty, to ask those questions. But make sure that you do understand everything that they are requiring from you. These exchanges will usually happen over email, but they can even take place on whichever platform it is that the client reached out to you on. Once you have a clear understanding of what it is that they're requiring of you, and once you and the client both agree as to how much are they going to pay you, when are you going to deliver this work, then you can get started with filming. So what I like to do in terms of filming is I like to do things on different days. For instance, familiarizing myself with the concept of the video, the script of the video, I usually put on one day. So that's where I'm just reading everything through, making sure I have the resources that I need. For instance, if they'd like something particular to be in the background, that I source that item, or I put together the kind of background that they're looking for. And then I choose another day where I'm actually going to film the content now that I'm comfortable with the script and I have a vision for what I'd like the video to look like. Now, when it comes time to film, ensure that your phone is on a stable surface and the lighting is pretty consistent. If it is a cloudy day where the sun keeps appearing and disappearing behind the clouds, rather choose another time of that day or another day to film the video. Something that's also important while filming is, if you're using your back camera, to check that you are in frame and that you are in the center of the frame, or however you need to be in the video. You can usually refer to the inspiration video and all of the guidelines that they have set out for you. So then you'll go about filming the video. It's important for you to remember that you might not get it right on the first try. So definitely do not be scared of having to film it 30 times. If you have to say the same sentence 10 times in order to pick the section that sounds right, do that. Another suggestion I have for when you are filming this content is to use your regular speaking voice. Avoid it sounding like a commercial or an ad or a sales video, but rather like we're chatting now, chatting to your friend about the product. So now that you've filmed the video and you've got all of your clips, it's time to edit. Usually most brands are looking for basic editing, but they might even ask you for the raw footage, which is essentially the footage where there are no cuts, there's no editing, it's just a full clip without any alterations. You should be charging more. But if the brand would like an edited video, they usually ask for the basic editing. For instance, putting the clips together, cutting out any it's even best to cut out the breaths that you were taking, because sometimes in between sentences you can take a deep breath in, and it's usually wise to cut that out. I recommend using CapCut Pro to edit your videos, but you can use any other platform. Just make sure that there's no watermark when you save the video. Once you save the video, you are getting ready to send it to the client. I really recommend using Google Drive in order to send your files to the client. I like Google Drive because it maintains the quality of the video, and also you can share the link and you can access the permission settings. Something that is also really important is that once you've uploaded the video to Google Drive, that you set the permission to anyone with the link, so that the client doesn't have to request access and can instead click it right on the email that you're going to send them. Once you've uploaded your video and it's done processing, please watch the video. There are some things, even though throughout the steps you could rewatch your video, that could go wrong. For instance, after you're done editing your video in CapCut, you're really familiar with the video, but CapCut usually adds that ending sequence, and sometimes you might not realize that that was the case, and then when you upload it to Google Drive, you send it to the client, it's got that massive closing sequence at the end. So I really recommend, once you've uploaded to Google Drive, to watch the video the whole way through, change the permissions, copy the link, and then you're going to paste it in your response email. This is usually how I like to structure my email when I'm delivering the work to the client. So I like to make it clear that these are the videos, and I would love for the client to please revise them and advise on any feedback. If they would like anything changed, I am open to that. Now, usually the client will go through the videos and note the things that they like and that they don't like, and they will get back to you and let you know. Now, what do you do when the client says, oh, I don't like the beginning of the video, or I don't like the end of the video, or can you remove this clip? We have to go back to CapCut. And this is especially why I love CapCut, because your project should still be on the CapCut app and you should still be able to edit it. So now that you're going to edit a particular part of the video, something that is really nice if you've made multiple takes of a certain video is that you can instead replace the clip that they don't like with a better sounding clip or a different angle of the product if you had already filmed that. Unfortunately though, if you haven't, that means that you would need to reshoot that clip or reshoot the video entirely. That is what a revision entails, and it absolutely sucks sometimes, if I can be honest with you, but it is avoidable by asking questions, because if you have a clear picture of what they want, it's going to be really difficult for you to mess it up or get something wrong. And if there is a revision needed, if you've understood and done what they've asked, it's going to be something small that doesn't require reshooting. Thereafter, it's the same process. You upload the file to Google Drive and you send it back to them via email, and then they should give you a response. Usually that'll be it for the revisions. They say they like it. Now it's time for you to get paid. And payment, depending on which platform of communication you and the client are using or which app you guys are using, can differ. If you are using Upwork, usually your client would have already had to put money into escrow, so when they're ready to pay you, they're simply going to release the funds. If you are receiving payment through PayPal, then you would have already provided them with your PayPal address, or if you are receiving an EFT, you can send them an invoice. I'm going to show you an example of the invoice that I use to invoice my South African clients. Somewhere on your invoice, it is important to include when you would like to be paid by. I usually give the client 7 days to pay me, but it's up to you what you'd like, and any T's and C's that you have in terms of payment have to be put on the invoice. Then what will usually happen is that the client will pay you and send you a proof of payment, and then after that, I usually thank them for the proof of payment and let them know that I will inform them once the funds have reflected into my account. And then once the funds have reflected in my account, I thank them once again and let them know that it was great working with them, and that if they need any more UGC content or they would love to do another project, that they should please feel free to email me, and I'll definitely be open to working with them again. And that is the entire streamlined UGC process. I really hope that you found this helpful, and if you did, do give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, sharing my channel, and definitely more epic videos to come.